Greetings to all viewers. This is Professor Ankit Singh. We'll now move to the next topic, that is types of traffic surveys. Okay. In my previous lecture, we have discussed what is traffic engineering, what are the elements of traffic engineering, and got a little idea about this unit. Okay. We'll now move to the next topic. Now, there are various types of traffic surveys that we conduct in order to gather traffic data. Okay. Let us see what are those different surveys. Classified traffic volume count survey at mid-block section. Classified turning traffic volume count survey at intersections. Origin destination survey. Willingness to pay survey. Pedestrian movement survey, that is both along and across the road. Parking survey. Speed and delay surveys. Axle load survey and accident detail surveys. Okay, these are various types of surveys that are conducted. Now we'll discuss each of these surveys in the later lectures. Okay, for now you just need to know what are the different types of traffic surveys that are conducted. Okay, moving ahead, what are the vehicles that we consider? Okay, this is for Indian traffic. So classification of vehicles. Now motorized vehicles or motorized traffic. Okay, what are the classifications? There are two-wheelers, which may include scooter and motorcycle, three-wheeler, that is auto rickshaw, passenger car or utility vehicle, that is jeep, van, etc., bus, which is the standard bus, minibus, light commercial vehicle, also known as LCV, or freight vehicles, okay, or goods vehicles. These are smaller vehicles which are comparable to a car in size, but they are used for goods purposes. Truck, MCV, two axle rigid chassis. Truck, HCV, three axle rigid chassis. And truck, MAV, semi articulated and articulated. These are three types of trucks. Okay, two axle trucks. Okay, this is medium commercial vehicle, MCV, and heavy commercial vehicle, three axle trucks. Okay, and truck which is semi articulated or articulated, these might have a trailer attached to the truck. Okay, and the last one is agricultural tractor with or without trailer. Okay, next we come to non-motorized traffic. In the non-motorized traffic, we include cycle, cycle rickshaw, hand cart, animal drawn vehicle, and any other vehicle which does not use motor for propelling it. Okay, so these are classifications of non-motorized traffic, and these are classifications for motorized traffic vehicles. Okay, now let us study a few important definitions which we need to understand. Okay, first one is volume. Okay, here volume is with respect to traffic. So all these definitions would be with respect to vehicular traffic only. Okay, and with respect to highways, roadways. Okay, so what is volume? The number of vehicles passing a given point during a specified period of time, or the number of vehicles that pass over a given section of a lane or a roadway during a specified period of time. Okay, so volume is nothing but the number of vehicles that pass through a single point in some given time, or it might be the number of vehicles which pass through a section of road in the specified time. Okay, this is nothing but the traffic volume. Now next, average daily traffic, which is in short we call it as ADT. This is nothing but the total volume during a given time period in whole days greater than 1 day and less than 1 year divided by the number of days in that period, in that time period, commonly abbreviated by ADT. Okay, so under the volume, under traffic volume, ADT is one type of classification. Okay, so what is ADT? Here the time period will vary in days. Okay, the time period that is to be considered will be whole days. Okay, and this total number of time, the total time period should be less than 1 year. Okay, time period is equal to 1 day or greater than 1 day and it is less than 1 year. In that case the volume that we calculate is nothing but the average daily traffic. And how do we get the average? Okay, supposingly the time period is 7 days. Okay, 1 week. So we find out the volume of a road for 1 week and then later on divide that value by the number of days, that is 7. Okay, so that value which we will obtain is nothing but the average daily traffic. Similarly, annual average daily traffic or AADT. Okay, this is also in short we call it as AADT. This is the total yearly volume divided by the number of days in the year, commonly abbreviated as AADT. Okay, here in this case the time period was being considered from 1 day to less than 1 year, and for AADT the time period will be 1 year. Okay, now next point is maximum annual hourly traffic. Okay, the highest hourly volume that occurs on a roadway in a designated year. Okay, since we have the term annual here, which means that the time period, the total time is 1 year. Okay, and maximum annual hourly traffic. Okay, so that hour in the whole year which has the maximum traffic passing through it, okay, in that time period. Okay, that is nothing but the maximum annual hourly traffic. Okay, the next is 30th highest hourly volume. Now this is similar. Now if you could understand what is meant by maximum annual hourly traffic, then this is nothing but the 30th highest hourly traffic of that time period, okay, of 1 year. See, the definition is the hourly volume that is exceeded 29 hourly volumes during a year, during a designated year. Okay, so let us try to understand this. See, the total number of hours in 1 year, okay, which is not a leap year, will be 365 into 24. Yes, so this would be the total number of hours in 1 year. Now if we conduct survey and find out the volume that is taking place in each of these 365 into 24 hours, then we will have data. Okay, this data, what we will do is we will arrange it in decreasing order. Whichever hour which has the greatest traffic volume, okay, that will be placed first, and accordingly second, third and fourth. Similarly we'll do this for 365 into 24 hours. Now in this table the 30th highest hourly volume would be the value that we get at the 30th slot. Okay, this is nothing but the 30th highest hourly volume. Now why is this important? This is important because we use this value for design purposes. Yes, we'll now move to the next point, that is density. So what is density? The number of vehicles occupying a unit length of a moving lane or moving lanes of a roadway to a given instant, usually expressed in vehicles per unit length. Okay. So what is density? It is nothing but the number of vehicles which are occupying a unit length, a designated length. Now this designated length could be 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, or whatever length. Okay. This is nothing but the density of traffic. Now we have a relation between volume, density and speed, and which is V is equal to D into S, where V is the volume, D is the density and S is the speed. Okay. Now these are a few points that we need to discuss. Okay, let us have a look. Low density occurs when number of vehicles are less. Okay, so this is obvious. The density will be less if the number of vehicles on that road stretch is less. Okay, and why is this? Because density is nothing but the number of vehicles occupying a unit length. Okay. Now similarly, high density occurs when number of vehicles are more. Density continues to increase as congestion increases. Okay, when will the congestion increase? The congestion will increase on the roads when the speed of the vehicles on the roads is very less, or it is in a stopped condition, and the number of vehicles keep on increasing. Then what will happen? We will get a state of congestion or a jam condition. Okay, and in that case what happens? The road density will increase. The efficiency of flow can be determined by observing the density. Okay, so we can decide how efficient the flow of traffic on that particular road is by observing the density of the road. If the density is more, it means that the efficiency is low because the traffic movement is less. Okay, or delayed or slow. Next, smaller the density, quicker the movement of traffic and greater is the efficiency of flow. Okay, this I just explained this. Now next point is critical density. Now there are different types of densities also. Okay, there are three types of densities that we consider. Sorry, I think there are four types. Yes, the four types, which is critical density, basic capacity, possible capacity and practical capacity. Sorry, these are the capacities. Capacity and density is different. Okay, we'll first discuss what is critical density. Okay, the density of traffic when the volume is at capacity on a given roadway or lane. Okay, so what is the capacity? It is the total number of vehicles that a road can accumulate. Okay, that is the total capacity of a road. Now when the density is equal to the capacity of that road, okay, then that density is nothing but the critical density. Now let us see what capacities are. Okay, there are three types of capacities. We'll discuss them. First one is the basic capacity. It is the maximum number of passenger cars that can pass a given point or a lane or roadway during 1 hour under the most nearly ideal roadway and traffic conditions which can possibly be attained. Okay, this is also known as theoretical capacity. So under the most ideal conditions of a roadway and the traffic conditions, the total number of passenger cars that can pass a given point or a roadway during 1 hour. Okay, that is the basic capacity. The maximum number of cars that can pass a given point during 1 hour under the most ideal conditions is known as theoretical capacity or basic capacity. Second is possible capacity. See, all of us know that these ideal conditions cannot be attained on the roads. Okay, this is only a theoretical concept. Now we will move to more practical concepts. Okay, now the possible capacity. The second type is possible capacity. Let us see what it is. It is the maximum number of passenger cars that can pass a given point on a lane or roadway during 1 hour under prevailing roadway and traffic conditions. Okay, what is the difference in these both capacities? In the possible capacity, we consider the prevailing roadway condition, that is the existing roadway condition, and not the ideal roadway condition. Okay, now third type is practical capacity. It is the maximum number of passenger cars that can pass a given point on a lane or roadway during 1 hour without traffic density being so great so as to cause unreasonable delay, hazard, or restriction to the driver's freedom to maneuver under the prevailing roadway and traffic conditions. This practical capacity is also known as design capacity because this is what is most achievable. Okay, this is what we actually get on the roads. Okay, so what is this? This is the capacity of a on a point of a lane on the roadway during 1 hour time period in which we consider the traffic density so much as that it will cause unreasonable delay, hazard, restriction to the driver's freedom to maneuver. Okay, if we consider these conditions, unreasonable delay conditions, which could be accidents or animals moving on the road or anything else, okay, all these unreasonable delay that can happen on the roadways, if we consider all this, okay, then what is the capacity that we get? That is nothing but the practical capacity, and which is also known as the design capacity, and this is the value that we use for traffic design. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Now next we will move to traffic volume count studies. I'll start this in my next lecture. Thank you.